So I took the LSAT in February. I text Janine. I'm like, hey, can you come home? I am about to share one of the most vulnerable stories of my life.
I'm sorry, babe.
Is this going to
I know it's bad, but I just thought it was so funny.
If you don't have IBS, don't judge me because you don't know what it's like to sit in my shoes.
Or in your underwear. I looked at you and I said, is this real?
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah.
I'm sitting there in the kitchen and I go to check my application. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I open it up and it says application. What is up, guys? We are back at it. We're back. We haven't potted in a while together.
We are so back.
We're so back. The number one podcast in the world.
In the dang
back.
world.
Is it? I think it's number one when both of us are on. It's just like,
wow, that's kind of a diss to me.
No. I just mean that like we got
a good vibe.
We got a vibe. We got chemistry. We didn't have chemistry yesterday. We were in a couple fights. But we made up. That's the good news.
Yes.
We made up. I'm golfing later today. I did my dad duties. All is right in the world. I've been cooking for you. I'm a chef now.
Yeah.
We got a lot of updates.
We got a lot of updates, you guys. So welcome back to the podcast. My name is Janine. I'm a Polar Ward. This is my husband, Kaleb. We post every single Tuesday. So if you are ever looking for entertainment, some fun, also some faith-filled conversations, this is your spot.
Where do we even begin? Because I feel like I left people on a massive cliffhanger over the last few months.
Yes.
Regarding my law school adventures.
So yeah, let's get into that because I've seen some comments and
people be mean to me.
People be mean. People are speculating.
You know what someone did?
What?
Someone tagged me. It might have been one of you guys. Honestly, I got some mean people out there. Someone tagged me in a video of someone getting into Harvard, and they go, "You wish this was you, baby boy." Or sugar baby or something like that.
Sugar baby.
They called me sugar baby.
What?
Something like that. You wish this was you. And so like people were commenting on my stuff saying, oh, I'm so sorry you didn't get into law school, all this stuff. And I'm like, first of all, how do you know anything?
Yeah.
Second of all, like also in my bio, I had like a highlights of like my stories. And one of the highlights was like a law school, like funny meme. And I deleted it from my bio because I just was like, this looks stupid on my bio. And someone literally messaged me like 10 minutes later and was like, I saw you deleted. Does that mean you're not going to law school? So people are like,
wow,
invested.
You're like a hawk watching you.
And I've said it before, it's so personal to like talk about something. And I opened it up, but like failing or not failing or pursuing something when you're in the midst of pursuing it, it's really hard talking about. And I think I made a decision a few months ago where I was like, I don't want to talk about it anymore until it happens. But it almost like made it more difficult to not just like, I want to be open. And I also like, who cares?
Yeah.
And so like, I think I'm ready just to like talk about the journey and also like open up what happened and what happened yesterday. Because if you follow us on Janine and Kaleb on our Instagram story, I shared that something crazy happened, and I'm also going to share that story.
Oh.
Guys, I'll never be the same. I did one of the worst things in my life yesterday.
Honestly, I know this isn't funny, but it's so funny. When he told me, I literally chuckled, and I was trying not to because it was a sensitive moment. But
it was very sensitive.
I'm still laughing. I'm sorry, babe.
Okay, so do we start from the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay, so I took the LSAT in February, beginning of February. I did a lot better than I thought that I would do. My score, I did better on the LSAT than my dad and my cousin who went to the law school that I'm applying to.
Right.
And my GPA is really good. And so I was like, dude, this is a done deal. Like, so like we posted my LSAT, the acceptance rate last year with this LSAT score was like in the 80%.
Yeah.
So
I remember you Googled it and it was 85%.
It was something like that. Yeah. It was super high. And like since my dad went there, my cousin went there, I'm like, dang, this is a sure shot. And so we ended up, we were going to move. Law school was a reason why we moved to Oklahoma, but it wasn't like the only reason.
Yeah, we were planning on moving regardless before the baby, and regardless, we were wanting a change in our life.
Yeah. And we like wanted, a nicer home and everything. And so, but law school was a huge reason because there's 2 law schools here. There's Oklahoma University, and then there's Oklahoma City University. And so I applied to Oklahoma City University. And so about a month goes by after I applied, and I'm sitting there in the kitchen and I go to check my application. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I open it up and it says application denied. And it was like it sounds dramatic, but like in a way, it felt like my world was falling apart. Like for the last 2 years, I went back to school. I studied for the LSAT. I did better. I didn't do amazing, right? I did good though, but it was like, it was good. And,
It was enough to get into the school.
It was enough to get in that school for the last 20 years. Like,
right.
There was a study recently that this year is the most applicants law schools have seen.
It's like record breaking.
It was record breaking. More people are going to law school now than they've ever gone to law school. So like every law school is getting records amounts of applications, was just making it more competitive. But anyway, I see application denied and Janine's not home. And it felt like I was in a dream, and I just kept staring at it, and I was like praying it would like change. Like I was like dyslexic and the words didn't change. And I text Janine and I'm like, hey, can you come home? And she's like, I'm at coffee with a friend.
Which you never like do that. Like the way he texted me, he was like, hey, can you please come home? And I was like, huh, that's kind of odd.
Yeah.
So, and you just never really like done that before.
Yeah.
You know?
And so I call my dad, because my dad went to law school. I'm like, Dad, I didn't get in. He's like, what? And I call my cousin, because they all went to the school, and it just like, they were like, dang, you did better on the LSAT than I did. And that's just surprising. My cousin just went a few years ago.
Yeah, and it was funny because even when you got the LSAT score, when you first took it, Kaleb actually thought he didn't do
I thought I got like a 145, like 144. I thought I was horrible.
I remember he took the test the first time and you were like, babe, I bombed that. And I was like, okay, we don't know. Let's keep our faith. And we just kept praying, Lord, I pray we get a better score than we've ever expected. And we did. So we were like, we've made it. We got it. Let's go. I remember your cousin was like, yeah, dude, there's no way you're not getting in.
The score wasn't good enough to like get into like a SMU or an OU university or something. But yeah, so Janine finally gets home. And at this point, like I was debating telling you because I wanted to like, maybe this is a mistake. Before I just tell Janine this, like maybe I'll just wait a little bit. And so I was in the bathroom and Janine comes home and my computer is like laid out, and this is where I feel so bad for you. My computer is laid out in the kitchen, and I'm like across the hallway on the other side of the house, but I can like see into the kitchen, and I can see Janine just go to the kitchen island, and she sits down, and I'm like, oh no, because my computer screen was open to the application.
Right.
So Janine sits down, and all I see from behind is Janine just like her like shoulders like went down, and she looked back, and we made eye contact across the hallway, and she was like,
I looked at you and I said, is this real?
Yeah.
And you were like, yeah. And then you fell into my arms.
Yeah, and it was crazy because I didn't know what I was expecting, how you would react. And you just were the second thing you said was, are you okay? And I was like, no. I'm not okay. I feel like a failure. I feel embarrassed. I think if I had a word to sum up how I felt when I saw the application denied, just like straight embarrassment. Like I felt so embarrassed. I was like, I've talked about this. I've like I worked so hard. Like how could this be? And I'll get into like more of the story, but like looking back now, it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. And so I get on the phone, I call the dean, he gives me the reasons, which they were fair reasons. I did online college and there was some, transfer credit kind of issues. this year was record breaking. The LSAT median went up more this year than it's ever gone up.
Which we
And
didn't know
so,
that. We didn't know that the score had just raised
yeah.
this year.
So he was like, if you can get your score up, a few points, if you can get your score up a little higher, then we'll reconsider your application for this year. And so I just took the LSAT again yesterday. So I got the no. And this is my advice to you guys. And through this journey is like, I've talked to so many people because I was so embarrassed that, life is you're going to have failure in your life. Ours is failing in public. So it's more embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's like hard for me to like fail in public and like people aren't going to think I'm smart or like what all the insecurities that come out. But I've talked to so many people. One of my best friends, 2 weeks later, he didn't get into his school.
Yeah.
And he got his application denied for his master's. And I had another friend who was like, oh, dude, yeah, it took me 3 times to take the LSAT. It took me 3 years. Like I kept getting denied and denied and denied. And I've talked to so many people. I had a buddy yesterday on his 4th interview. He didn't get the job.
Yeah.
And
one of my best friends or one of my good friends, she took the LSAT 3 times before she could get into the law school she wanted to go to.
Yeah.
3 times,
Yeah. And it made me sit back and go, okay, is this really what I want to do? I've been working towards this for the last couple of years, and I really had a decision to make. Was like, am I going to keep going? Am I going to keep trying? Am I going to keep pursuing this, or am I going to quit? And I'll be honest, there for a couple of weeks, I was like, I think I'm going to quit. And you really encouraged me. And this time I put less pressure on myself because we're under a time clock. The school starts in August. Baby's coming in, early June, late May. And so there is a part of me that's like, okay, maybe this is in the Lord's like plan. If waiting an extra year might help, we're so busy. Like we're a 2-man show.
We are a full-on team, y'all. We don't have, besides like our YouTube editor and our podcast editor.
Yeah, we do everything.
We do everything, just so y'all know. So
like, and it is, especially with the baby coming, like, there's just so much to do. And so like it might actually be good to wait an extra year.
As you guys know, this podcast is called Happy and Healthy because health is absolutely a priority to me, especially being pregnant. And I have talked about this company before, and I'm so excited to talk about them again. It is Fatty 15. And I want to share with you guys an incredible scientific breakthrough to support our long-term health and wellness. It's called C15, which is the first essential fatty acid to be discovered in 90 years. And get this, studies have confirmed that it is 3 times better, broader, and safer than omega-3s, which y'all, omega-3s are so beneficial for your body. So I definitely want to encourage you guys to check this out. It's pretty simple. It's an essential nutrient that keeps our cells healthy, which keeps us healthy. If you want to get sciencey about it, studies show that C15 works by strengthening our cells, improving our mitochondrial function, and protecting us against damaging free radicals. The result, better long-term metabolic, liver, and heart health. It ends up that many of us are deficient in C15, which results in weaker cells that make less energy and quit working earlier than they should. All of this makes us age faster, sleep poorly, feel sluggish. Does this sound familiar? So I definitely want to encourage you guys to check this out. Fatty 15 is on a mission to replenish your C15 levels and restore your long-term health. You can get an additional 15% off their 90-day subscription starter kit by going to fatty15.com/healthy and using code HEALTHY at checkout. Plus, you guys, it comes in this beautiful glass bottle, and I think you guys are going to love this. And let's get back to today's episode. So, yeah, basically, I saw, application denied, and it was so funny. It was actually not really funny, but I think looking back now, it's kind of funny. I walked in and I see the computer screen open and it's like OCU law. And in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, like he's going to surprise me. He got in. He's going to pop out any second with his iPhone and like film my reaction of him getting in. And so I'm looking at the screen and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm looking for the like application approved. And I see denied. And then I was like, wait, what? And then I guess he saw my shoulders like go down. And I mean, honestly, it was, I will say, the Lord was so evident in that day because even though we had like a door slammed shut, or so we thought, we were just so like okay, God, if it's not your will, it's not your will. We trust you. And I think that's when you face something like that, you can immediately go like, we were actually both like, I'm so confused, or I'm mad at God, or why didn't God say yes? Or you did all the things, you had everything you needed to get in. This doesn't make sense. We both were just like, this doesn't make sense. But I really think that God used that day and this whole process so far, and we can share more about that, to really help us just rely on Him, and B, also just know like, not everything you want in life is just gonna be like handed to you or just
Yeah.
expected that you just get it immediately just because
So true.
you're like, "Oh, well, I did all this, so I deserve that." And sometimes that's just not how life goes, you know?
Yeah, it was humbling. I think I was probably a little cocky and a little arrogant to be like, "Oh, my dad went there, my cousin went there. I got a pretty good score. Like, I got a good GPA." Uh, and yeah, life doesn't go the way you think it's gonna go, and you're gonna have doors shut. But it's been so cool. I've been able to to refocus, and we've been. It's just like, hey, what do I want to do with my life?
Yeah.
I've literally think I've figured out a lot of the things that I want to do. And so I've kind of gotten to the place where I think my hands are now open. And if I'm going to do my best, like I took the LSAT again, I'm going to keep pursuing this until God either changes my mind or just the doors keep shutting.
Yeah.
I can take the LSAT 3 more times. So
It's not over.
it's not over. And here's the thing. This is where I feel free. If I don't get in, it's not a reflection of who I am.
Mhm.
I tried something. I tried something really hard. At the end of the day, like I learned a lot. I got a college degree, and people fail, and it's not my identity. I think it became my identity for a while,
Mhm.
especially it running in my family. My dad's a lawyer. My cousin's a lawyer. Like it just kind of like it just felt natural. Like this is what I was. This is what I'm going to become.
Yeah.
And there's so many people out there who experience failure, and it's a great thing.
Yeah, I think also like it showed us that we were clenching on it too tight, where it was like we have to have this happen, or this won't be worth it, or our marriage or whatever, like
Uh-huh.
nothing makes sense without this. And once the door was shut temporarily, which it might be shut permanently, we don't know. It really helped us both release it because it was something we were praying for, and we both just were like, this is gonna happen, you know?
Yeah.
And it really made us surrender and just be like, "Okay, God,
Well,
it is ultimately, like, up to you." Like, he will do the work, and I'm really so proud of Caleb. Like, you studied so hard, and I watched you just, oh my gosh, do so much stuff. So I was like, "Babe, you did your best." And now the rest is literally up to God.
thanks, babe. You've been so supportive and this whole season, and you've held me accountable. Like, hey, baby, you got to study today, and
Well,
even
also, yeah, because I also, like, I'm still like, "Okay, if we have another chance, like, let's give it our all." But I do think something really cool that happened was, like, once that door was, like, shut, we both were able to kind of be like, "Oh, it doesn't have to be right now." And we started thinking about it, and we were like, "Maybe God used the law school situation to get us to Oklahoma for a reason, and maybe it'll be pushed back a year, we don't know." Because honestly, like, having this baby very soon and then him going to school in August, like, that would be a huge
yeah,
transition, and it might still happen, and we'll make the best of it, but
and it's made me think about other alternatives. Like there's a Oklahoma University
yeah.
law school. It doesn't have to just be the one I thought.
Right.
Hopefully it is, because again, if I do really good on this LSAT from yesterday, I I think I did good. Now I didn't study as much this time around because I wasn't expecting to have to take it again. But like if I don't get a good score, guess what? I have all summer. I'm going to take prep classes and um, you know,
Yeah,
get
you're not
prepared.
done.
So, but anyway, okay,
This
guys,
story.
all ready for the story? Guys, if you have a weak stomach, sensitive stomach, maybe skip 10 minutes forward. If you get grossed out
10
easy,
minutes.
the story's wild. So like if you get triggered easy and you don't like discussing stuff, just skip forward. You don't want to listen to this. But if you don't care and you want to hear a funny story,
But don't be too graphic.
I'm not gonna be too graphic.
Okay.
Okay, guys, I am about to share one of the most vulnerable stories of my life. This story changed me forever. This story is something that I don't know if I'm going to regret sharing. I've debated sharing this story because I'm like, is this oversharing?
I don't know. I thought it was literally hilarious. And also, I felt so bad. I didn't think you were going to share it in the podcast. I personally don't know if I could share this. Maybe like a year down the road.
The truth shall set you free.
It's the Bible says. You're right.
Okay, guys. So I wake up in the morning because I'm taking the LSAT remote. So I wake up in the morning. So my LSAT was at
In the morning feeling.
my LSAT was at 7:30 in the morning, and I was taking it remote. So I wake up, I log on my computer, and right as the test is about to start, my stomach
Says hello.
My stomach rows deeper than just freaking Mufasa, and I'm like, Timon.
Really?
And I'm like, I'm scared. And I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can take this test right now. I got to go so badly. But I didn't have a choice. It starts at 7:30. Like, you got to get on. And so I log on, and each section for me, each section is about an hour. And so I'm about 30 minutes in, and my stomach growls again. But this time the growl was like, the floodgates were about to open.
Babe, I think when you say growl, I think they think that you're hungry.
Okay, yeah.
And that was not what it was.
It wasn't, yeah, the growl wasn't hunger. The growl was, I need to go to the swimming pool.
He needed to go number 2.
Yeah. And so I'm able to muster up the courage within me because I can't get up. Like, you're not allowed to leave the LSAT. And so, or at least I thought. And so I'm sitting there, and also with the LSAT is you have to wait till the time. Like, when you finish all the questions, you can't just hit submit. Like, if you have 15 minutes left, you have to wait till it expires for the section to be done. And so I had 15 minutes left on the section, and I was literally about to go my pants. And so it gets to about...
Sorry, guys, you have to hear this.
It gets to about 11 minutes. And at this point, I'm like, I'm not lying to you when I say I'm about to cry. Like, guys, I have stomach issues. If there's any IBS people out there, like, big IBS guy. And
he's the leader of the pack.
Yeah, big IBS guy. And so a lot of people and I've shared this story. I think it's like, for those people out there who want to judge me, if you don't have IBS, don't judge me, because you don't know what it's like to sit in my shoes. My shoes...
Or in your underwear.
No, literally, if you're a fellow IBS people, comment down below, because I promise you, if you have a good stomach and you can just go to the bathroom when you want...
Yeah, that's me.
You're blessed. Like, you don't understand. So, like, I don't want to hear the judgment. Oh, Kaleb, that's disgusting. It's like, you don't understand the miles I've walked, okay?
Yeah, I'm the non-IBS girl, so I can't really relate.
So, 10 minutes hit. You know Spy Kids?
Of course.
Spy Kids 3, when it's game over?
Yeah.
That was me.
Oh, no.
It was game over. The floodgates opened completely. And...
You said you were pinching for a good bit there.
Yeah. And so, at this point, guys, I have a decision to make. Do I sit there? Or do I go to the bathroom? And I chose... my life flashed before my eyes.
Chose number 2?
I hit...
Literally?
Well, yeah, it was... I had to... If I didn't get to the bathroom at that point, the damage had been done, but the damage was going to get worse. And so, I just hit... I pray for the best. I hit exit on the LSAT. There's like a button that says exit. And I just was like, I don't know if I can do this, but I hit exit and I ran to the bathroom. And I called Janine. I was like, Janine, I think...
You said, I just made the biggest mistake of my life. And I'm like, what did you do? Because I'm like, why are you calling me in the middle of your LSAT? I was like, shoot, something went wrong.
Yeah. And at that point, guys, I was like, I can't get back on the LSAT. Because when you take it remote, you have a proctor. So someone's hacked into your camera and they're watching you. So I clean up, and...
No, you call me and you're like, babe, I just took a poop in my pants.
This is so embarrassing.
And I was trying so hard to be empathetic, and I was
Guys,
dying laughing.
and you know the meanest,
Dying laughing.
you know the meanest part about this story is we were sharing it to my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and they know I'm a part of the IBS crew, and typically I can't use the restroom. Like I'm constipated a lot, and I can't go ever. I never can go.
I'm gonna get you back on that AG1.
So, Vanya, your sister, was like, "Man, you need to take an LSAT more often. It seems like that works for you." And
I'm dead.
because I was telling him, I was like, "Dude, I felt, you know the song Free,
Yeah.
Free,
Falling.
no, it's Free at Last."
Oh.
But anyway, so I get back into the office and I'm like, I'm trying to log back into my LSAT and it's taking forever. And somehow they logged me back on and the time started again.
Praise God.
And I was able to finish. Here's the thing, guys. I think I did good, but I also think that first section was ruined because I had to like answer 4 questions, just all C, because I had to take a, C for,
Yeah, the other C word you had to take.
Yeah. So, guys, I know I probably shouldn't have shared that, but I thought it was too funny not to share. And I'm also like, I would hate for that. Rumors spread fast. What if that got leaked? You know what I mean?
Who would know?
Who would leak? Someone might leak that. Now I have peace knowing that can never, a tabloid.
You're the one who leaked it.
Some would say.
You are the leaker.
I leaked it to TMZ.
You leaked in multiple different ways, babe.
Yeah.
Literally, when he came home from taking his LSAT, the first thing I said to him was, "Hey, poopy pants." He was like, "I'm not going to live this down, am I?" I was like, "No." I'm sorry, babe.
Is this going to haunt
I know
me?
it's bad, but I just thought it was so funny. I was like, you pooped your pants during the LSAT. I don't think like anybody in history could probably say that.
They should let me into law school just because of that. Just because of that, they should let me into law school.
I felt so bad for you. Because you're already so stressed out and you were like, I logged out accidentally and freaking out and I pooped my pants.
Also,
I'm sorry.
I'm going to be sending out some Starbucks gift cards. Here's the thing is I did a poll and I said, guess what happened on our Janine and Kaleb account? And I said, you'll never believe what happened. And some people, and I said, if you guys are right, I'll send you a Starbucks gift card. Some people did say you pooped your pants. Technically, they're wrong. I pooped my pants during the LSAT. That's what happened.
But no one's going to guess that.
Yeah, true. So, one of you guys is going to get a Starbucks gift card because multiple people guessed it.
That's impressive. I would have never guessed someone would poop their pants.
The moral of the story is do not, if you have an LSAT, make sure it's at like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock so you have time.
Yeah.
It was.
You need your morning digestion.
Yeah.
I feel like we've talked enough about, bowel movements. I'm so sorry. This is not our typical podcast.
Sure.
But that was so funny. And you think you did good.
I think I did better. I thought I did really bad the first time and I did better than I thought. And now I think I did really good. So I don't really know. I was very confident in all my answers. Here's the thing is I've taken practice tests where I was really confident with all my answers and I did horrible. And the ones I've done really good are when I tend to think it's not as good.
I mean, what do you feel like, there's people that are listening that they've gone through this or maybe they're waiting for their score or they're trying to get into something that they've never done before. What's your advice? And like, what was like that first like feeling and now where are you at with that, Well,
I think, I've said it in the beginning. I was like failure, embarrassment, not smart enough because they didn't accept you for a reason. So it's like getting broken up with.
Yeah.
But it's also like produced this thing of, no, I am valuable. And they would be like, I say this humbly, like, I think they'd be lucky to have me. But I also had to take a deeper look inside myself and I had to humble myself and I had to go. So I called I talked to the dean right after and I was like, hey, what can I do better? It's like, what are the things? And I got to take ownership for that. I didn't go to an Ivy League school. I didn't go to an amazing college. It's great, but it's not, it's just a regular college. And so like, hey, what are some ways that like, improve my writing skills? Maybe my essay could be better. Maybe my resume could be better.
But they told you, they said your resume was amazing. Your personal statement was amazing. They said all you needed was a higher score.
And I do think I had some issues with my transfer credits. And so I think potentially um, I had a lot of transfer credits to my school. And so there were some things with my GPA that kind of got messed up. But yeah, if I just improve my LSAT score, I should be fine. And that's like going to be the ultimate goal. But I would just say, like, figure out sometimes it's hard to look underneath the hood of like, because I could sit here and go, oh my gosh, like my dad went there, my cousin went there. I got a good enough score. Like you've accepted people before.
Right.
I could have that attitude, or I could have the attitude of like, okay, a no is not a no forever. You know, like you said no to me once. You know, remember you broke up with me? It's like, okay,
Yeah.
this is a challenge now. And and so I'm taking that for what it is and going, okay, if I really want to pursue this, if I really want to do this, I will do the work. I'll get better to where you become undeniable. That's like my biggest advice. Just become undeniable.
Yeah.
I wasn't undeniable, and that's fine. And so I also think people they are going to appreciate. I think the fact that I'm going to continue to work
Yeah.
towards this. Now, I've also given myself the freedom because I've relinquished the idea of once I got to the place of this is not my identity, it's taking the pressure off of failure. Because
Right.
now I'm like, if I did change my mind, who cares? This is my life. This is what I want to do with my life. And I shouldn't feel pressure from anything or anybody. All I care about is you, God, and my friends. And so
Your baby.
yeah, and my little baby, my little son.
I remember whenever, this did happen, like whenever you found out you weren't getting in, I remember asking you, like, okay, what would you tell our baby one day? Like, if he were to get rejected, like, what is the thing that you want to model for him? Because it is so funny when you start to have a baby, you start to think about your life and you're like, okay, what message do I want to preach to my kids about this?
Yeah.
And so it was like, even just reminding, yourself, okay, if your son were to hear this story one day, like, what would you tell him? In life, like, no one really owes you anything. No one doesn't owe you no one owes you anything. Life doesn't owe you technically anything. Like, everything is a gift from God. I remember reading in, I think it was like John 4, that it says, like, nothing, we get nothing unless it is given to us from God. And I was like, whoa, that's very humbling because you can become boastful. Like, obviously, you want to do the work. Like, you can't expect, I'm not going to study at all. I'm just going to get in the school. They owe me an acceptance. But, you did your part. And ultimately, like, again, the rest is up to God. But no one in life really owes you anything.
Yeah. It's so true. And, when we talk about our son, I think I would just tell him, hey, like until God closes the door completely, keep working. You've come this far. Keep working. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep working. And unless he literally shuts the door and shows me so clearly,
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep walking towards this. But like it is hard. We work so much together. We have so many things, so many dreams, so many visions of like the things we want to build.
Yeah.
I'm getting into grilling and golf and some of these things, and so I have some ideas from a business standpoint that I want to pursue in that venture. And I also want to be good dad. We do the podcast together. There's so many things we're doing, and it's
Yeah.
so fun. I never thought in a million years, even when we were like dating and engaged, like I don't know. I feel like things had just like really come to place, and we've really built something really awesome and really fun. And I'm excited. It's fun to work together. It's fun to work with your wife if it's done in a healthy place.
Right. Yeah.
And so where I'm trying to figure out is like, okay, if I go to law school and I'm gone while with the baby,
I mean, he's going to be 3 months old when you're going to school.
well, the law school is like, 30, 40 minutes away.
Yeah.
I'm going to be gone 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. because you have to study all day and, your classes are into the evening. And so I'm just trying to figure that out.
Which I think it's so funny because, like, initially, again, what I was saying, like, we were in our minds, we were like, no, you are going to law school this year, which is funny because it's like we don't have control over that. But it helped us reopen our mindset to being like, maybe waiting a year is the best thing. Maybe God wants us to be here, be settled, find friends, find community, get plugged in, and know how to be parents for a year together. Because this is hard. Like, being a parent, I think, is very hard with a newborn. Like, I'm working, you'd be in school. Like, it's a sacrifice going to law school. And again, if you want to do it 100%, I support you. But it helped us to like release it and be like, maybe waiting a year isn't the worst thing ever. And I think like when it came to the public opinions, I kind of want to talk about that a little bit because I think that was the initial thought is like you said you were embarrassed because you were kind of like, what are they going to think about me? Like they're going to think that I'm a failure, that I brought you here and now it didn't work out. And like, why did we move for nothing? And I just want to clarify, like, we didn't move here for nothing. Like, law school was a huge bonus. It was a big reason, but we don't regret moving here. Like, we are genuinely so happy. We love our home. We love the thing that we're building together. We're so excited to be parents. And again, we work together. Like, I don't think you guys understand how much Kaleb helps me. Like, I literally cannot do what I do without this man. Like I was pretty self-sufficient on my own, but the more that things kept growing with the book and the podcast and all the extra platforms and speaking that I was doing, like this is my biggest cheerleader right here. And if you do go to law school, like we'll figure it out, of course. We're gonna figure out a good system, but I'm just supportive of him and like whatever he does, you know?
I want to have an impact and a purpose. And so I'm still trying to figure that out. And I think everyone's trying to figure that out. I think
I'm trying to figure that
I think
out,
most
you know?
people, it's like a real thing. Lack of fulfillment is like, I feel like everyone struggles with that. Like, I'm not doing enough. I don't have a purpose. I don't feel like I'm really living out my full potential. And I feel like I was the type of guy in like high school or, you know, I still now, like, I worry what people think. Like, I think back to high school, like, I wonder what my high school friends think. They probably making fun of me right now. And I won't do something because I'm like, I'm afraid of getting made fun of or like, what do my friends think? And I feel like over the last month or two, I just stopped caring.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love doing some of these things. And like, why do it was always easy to post stuff like with you and stuff. But like now I'm like, why do I care so much with law school or with posting or like making a cooking video? Like, why does that matter? And so like my advice to you guys,
Yeah.
like you have that dream of the YouTube channel or of the book club you want to start or,
Anything, the
the
ministry
golf
you wanna
thing,
start.
the ministry. Yeah. You want to be post Christian content, but you're afraid it's like, stop that. You're going to die and we're going to get to heaven and none of this is going to matter as much. And so like live out your purpose, live out your dreams. And if you're worried about what your friends think, they're not your friends.
That's so
Now, if you're
true.
posting thirst traps and you're doing all these crazy things,
Yeah, if they want like the best for you and
yeah,
you're, like, I'm gonna start OnlyFans, then they're like, I don't think that's a good idea.
yeah,
That's a different story.
totally. But like, I feel like I am in this place now. I feel free where
Yeah.
I don't even people like, I don't care what people think in the sense of like, if I know what I'm doing is with good intentions and I know that like I'm following the Lord and my marriage is good and my friends are good, like I'm going to pursue what I want to pursue. And, like, I shouldn't be embarrassed.
No, and you shouldn't. And here's the thing is like, the only reason why this is harder is that again, it's a public, rejection, quote unquote.
I don't think the public part matters. I feel like a lot of people struggle with their friend group. And
But I
like,
was just gonna say, like, the only reason why we're sharing this is because like we have this platform and it's to show you like just because we have a podcast doesn't mean that like everything goes well for us and God is always opening every single door and everything's a yes and amen. Like it just goes to show you like every single person faces rejection. Every single person faces a closed door or faces something in their life. And ours was just like we're telling you about it, but I'm sure like if you are someone who's watching this and you're like, what a loser, can't believe he didn't get in. Like, if you're judging someone in your mind, you have to look back in your own life and think about, okay, there's been times where I faced rejection or I didn't get into school or maybe that guy rejected me or whatever. And you wouldn't want that blasted either. You wouldn't want someone looking at you and pointing fingers and being like, ha ha, I knew you wouldn't get in or whatever. Like every single one of us has faced some sort of rejection, denial, will face that. So this is our encouragement. Like we're human.
amen,
This is normal in life, you know?
amen.
And like, I mean, there's been many times in my own life I felt that. And like, even for example, like I'm writing a devotional right now and I feel like a failure right now because I haven't been able to write my devotional because of the move and the baby and my publisher was, encouraging me. I really think you should push this back. And in my mind, I'm like, no, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. I'm trying to muster up the energy because I didn't want to be deemed as a failure. I wanted to do in my own strength. I could write this book. And in reality, I looked at my life and the schedule and I'm about to have a newborn. I'm like, I can't do that. I have to be okay with knowing my limits and knowing like it's embarrassing that I have to push this back, but also it doesn't have to be embarrassing. It's embarrassing if you make it embarrassing in your mind. And so like we're all going through our own things and I'm trying to figure out my own stuff, but I think the good thing is like you just have people around you who encourage you, believe in you, and know again, that's not your identity. Because if you make it your identity, when it's great, it's great. When it's bad, it's really bad. And so you don't want to place anything in your you don't want to place your identity in anything else other than the Lord, because everything else is fleeting while God is stable.
Amen. You're 35 weeks pregnant. I cannot wait till
34.
34.
But when this podcast comes out, I actually will be hitting 35.
I can't wait to freaking meet him.
I feel like he's going to come early for some reason.
He's going to be right here in the pod right here.
I know, he's going to be a little squish. But yeah, we are having this baby here soon. We have a lot to do. His nursery, we're setting up this next week. We're setting up the bassinet. We got all the strollers. This little guy is coming soon. We cannot wait to share just like the name and everything else. So make sure you guys are following the vlog channel because we're posting more stuff on there. I post every single Thursday on my vlog channel, Janina Mapola, daily on Instagram and daily on Instagram stories. So follow along.
Go, go follow my freaking wife's paint saga. She
oh my gosh, it's such a disaster.
We painted the living room and the kitchen, or the living room,
our bedroom, one of the bedrooms over here.
And Janine got the wrong paint.
No, I didn't get the wrong paint.
That's another story.
He keeps saying I got the wrong paint. The painter got the wrong paint.
So we got to repaint, but
yeah, it's been a whole thing. Follow my Instagram stories for that.
Also, go follow my account. I used to never post, but now I'm posting some like fun grilling, golf.
Yeah, go support my husband.
Videos.
And also comment down below, like, if this spoke to you or if you're in a situation where you're like, this is me, or I've been through that, or
share your story.
How you overcame, or what God taught you through this, because I really do think that shut doors teach you something about yourself and teach you if you trust the Lord and how surrendered you are. And so comment your stories below, and we love you guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you guys again next Tuesday for another episode of Happy and Healthy. But until then, stay happy and healthy. Bye, guys.
See you guys.